Hey everybody, hope everybody is well. Today I want to talk about a topic that's been on my mind for a little while. I noticed, like myself, and you see my car in several of the videos, but why do mold-sick people and MCS people tend to do better in their cars than they do buildings and, let's say, campers, RVs, mobile homes, etc.? Well, I have a few explanations for that. This right here, probably seen it in several of my videos, but this is my 2017 Scion FRS, and I got lucky. I bought it brand new in 2017, and luckily it is a low VOC type vehicle by how it's made. And also too, that I want to go over in the video is, as I said before, maybe some tips people that can help some people out. But anyway, enough of the brain fog out of the way. So why do people tend to do better in cars than they do buildings, etc.? Well, let's look at some of the components. So you got the door panels. Behind it, all it is metal. And with the door panels, all it is screws. If you look close enough at the edges, etc., etc., the door panels screw straight on. Most of the time it's no insulation behind any of these door panels. With my car, I lucked out. I apologize, it's so messy on the inside. It had cloth seats, as you can see, so no leather, so that wasn't a whole lot of off-gas. And the carpet at the bottom, it's just carpet over metal, so that was pretty relatively easy, you know, to off-gas after a few years. My MCS didn't start when I bought the car. I got lucky. My multiple chemical sensitivity didn't start to about, it started 2019. So I'd already owned the car 2 years, and I had trouble with the car the first year of my MCS, and then it eventually off-gassed enough that it doesn't bother me. So this is kind of like my second safe place. Some tips that I like to go over is, if you're looking to buy a car, never tell the person, you know, that's selling a car that you got chemical sensitivities and all this other stuff, because if they really want to sell it, they're going to be scrambling at the very last minute to take out all the scent stuff and ozone it and try to fool you and all this other things. And unless you're severely sensitive, you know, you might not pick up on it right then and there. And people's that dirty, I hate to say it, but so never tell them you have, you know, the sensitivities. Get there, look at it, and you'll know whether if they put fragrance stuff in it, you'll know if they're a fragrance type person. If they ain't used anything fragrance, if it's like this older couple and they say, oh, we use hydrogen peroxide and you know, vinegar, and some of the old school people use that, and that's really good for multiple chemical sensitivity. But you can tell, you know, if you look at something and, you know, I try to pay attention. Do they smoke cigarettes? Do I see cigarette butts on the outside of the porch? Do they have a in-law living with them that's smoking? Do they have, you know, it's little hints that you can pick up on. Is it a son that smokes? Is it a daughter that smokes? Pay attention to when you pull up to their resident. If you're buying, you know, off of somebody, not a car lot. I never recommend a car lot at all, because you don't know what they've ozoned or what they've done, but or cleaning. But pay attention, you know, to, is there cigarette butts in the yard? Is it, and if you go in their house, you can always tell if they're fragrancy people, because one of the first things you do, you set a scented candle or you know, you'll see the candles up somewhere, or you'll see the Glade plug-in. So 9 times out of 10, if they use it in their house, they're going to be using it in their car. The reason my car worked out so far, thank God, it is a German-made car, so it's mostly aluminum alloy. It doesn't have a whole lot of steel in it. And I think that's one of the reasons I don't rat it. It's got minimal plastic on the hood. Like I said, it's got, you know, cloth seats. You know, door panels are screwed straight on. Don't even have any insulation behind the door panels. Your bigger vehicles are going to have more insulation. Carpet, I do have trouble with new carpet, but luckily this off-gas enough, I'm okay. Another hint, mold. Let's talk about that while I'm on the subject. You can look at the top of the glass and look around the rubber seals. I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but I always look around these rubber seals, and you'll know how they maintain the car by how clean those seals are, because I have been in vehicles or cars that bothered me because of the little bit amount of mold that was on the seals, and they never cleaned it. You know, you have these guys, these car guys, you know, they get that off, you know, every 2 or 3 months, and that means you know, that means a lot. It means a big difference when you're buying stuff like this. So luckily, when I bought mine new, I washed it every week. I washed the inside of it pretty good. And if you see mold build up there, that tells you right there that they didn't give a damn about, you know, leaving the windows down and the carpet getting wet, or, you know, spilling stuff or whatever. But you know, pay attention to things. You know, how clean's the in-cabin air filter? You know, all these things are going to make a difference to whether, you know, you're going to react to the car or not. But like I said, just pay attention, you know, wherever you go. If 9 times out of 10, like I said, if they use fragrance stuff on the inside, they're going to be using on the inside. And if you message them and you say, I got fragrance sensitivity or whatever, they're going to be taking all that stuff out right before, and they're going to be leaving the windows down. Now, one of the last things I like to go over, so we know the basic construction. You know, under the carpet we got steel, the door panels we got steel, aluminum alloy, whatever. Sometimes you can look down the speakers, you can see how much dirt. We talked about mold around the seals. That's why, you know, older vehicles get that musty smell, even if it's actually not any mold in the carpet or anything. So there's one last thing I want to go over. I want to pull the hood, or pop the hood. And this is another thing I pay attention to. Yeah, let's see if I can do it one-handed. Okay, so like under my car, you look, okay, it's a minimal insulation, it's all metal, okay? See right there? It's no insulation behind where the motor is. Some vehicles do have that, and if they've set out a whole lot, or, you know, they've had mechanical issues, you'll find that sometimes there's mold on it, and as you're in the vehicle and stuff, it can kind of seep in the vehicle, and that can cause you some issues too. But so it's a big combination. Luckily my car worked out. So far so good. I don't think it's been contaminated, because I can live in a car part-time and I'm okay. Tips, if you're around exposures or things that might irritate you, I always put a towel down or something, because you can always get rid of the towel, but financially you might not be able to get rid of the car. So I do that as a precautionary. But and extra floor mats, that's probably one of the last things I can go over, is the floor mats. I tend to do better with all cloth floor mats over the rubberized ones. I bought some rubberized ones one time, and I kept racking severely every time I got in the car, but I couldn't really pick up on it. And it turned out being those rubber mats. So a lot of times, if you go to a dealership or something like, you know, little mom and pop, you know, place, most of the time they use those rubber mats because they're so easy to clean. People's test driving them. So throw those things out, get you some cloth ones that you can clean. And you know, I see people going to extremes, you know, when let's say they got a rubber mat and they get gas on it or something, and they'll spend $20 in borax and hydrogen peroxide and various different things, you know, trying to get mold or whatever out of it, or some kind of chemical. It actually is just cheaper just to go ahead and just go to Walmart and just buy new uncontaminated mats if you can tolerate new. Some things new I can't. I get that, but the trunk, you know, look for stains, stuff like that. Usually the little trunk piece comes out. If it is contaminated, usually you can take it out and it's just metal underneath it, so it's a whole lot easier to deal with. But I got lucky. The Lord blessed me. This car's pretty simple made, so it's pretty difficult to contaminate, and the only thing that really can be contaminated is the seats and the carpet. And luckily, the exposures I have had, I put about 10 teaspoons of hydrogen peroxide in my little shampooer, and I just keep this shampooer just for the car, and that's what I use to shampoo it with. So I don't use anything else. Luckily, I didn't drive the car a whole lot before I got sick, so it never had really anything strong used in it. And that's the difficult part about anything used for me, is I hope this car lasts me at least 10 more years before it bothers me, but that's wishful thinking. But that pretty much wraps it up. I think everybody's got the idea. God bless.